Hey Casey,
Good evening and good morning.
good morning to you, brother. So, what's this topic you're bringing up? You're already starting to trigger me just by bringing up this topic. Tell what is.
I think that's amazing. I want to talk about at least my discoveries on what the real nature of relationships are between men and women. Why women and men come together.
Hmm.
I think it's very different than what the Disney movies are putting forth.
Oh, what?
So
Like you mean the whole love thing?
the whole love thing, companionship, a
Ugh.
lifelong friend.
Well,
Yeah, I'm about ready to tear that all apart.
call me old-fashioned and call me a romantic, but that's I still hold on to that. I still hold on to love.
That's because you're a man, my friend, and that's a beautiful thing to be. You are the romantic half of the species,
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
man.
Are you
I
not?
think that. Oh yeah, but I think it's been slowly being, or quickly and slowly beaten out of me over the course of my life, and so I feel like I'm standing up much more on a practical side of things, a little bit more steady ground, a little bit more result proven. Uh, and
Right.
unfortunately, it's never where I wanted to end up. Unfortunately, it is. I would rather have a romantic position and perspective. And maybe that is still possible, but it has to be through a much more strong masculine lens.
Oh, what? Like your own masculine lens?
Yeah, I think my masculine lens needs to be strengthened in so many ways in order to be able to appreciate any sort of romantic aspects of a relationship. Because if I feel like what I'm getting at here is like I have to be dominant and assertive and guiding in the relationship 100%. And then once that happens, then the softness in a woman will appear. And that comes through a lot of corralling and guidance from me on the girl and the woman, the
Yeah,
female.
it makes sense what you're saying, and I've had these conversations also. But on the other hand, women, for the general part, they want to have an opinion. They don't want to be
Yeah,
told
but
what to do.
just like turn off just like it's just noise. You just have to hear it as noise.
But see, I guess I'm living in some idealistic world where I do want my woman to have an opinion. You know, I don't really want to be a tyrant and tell her what to do and how to think and how to feel. But I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, I get it. But I don't want to have to manage my partner and her emotions and what she's and her responsibilities within
You
herself.
don't want to, but
No.
that's an aspect of your masculinity that needs to be embraced and strengthened, I would argue. That's my position.
But I feel like that's going backwards.
Yeah,
That's the
well,
way it
okay,
was.
maybe it is, maybe it's not, but what works, right? What has your life experience been? Have the women been able to manage their emotions properly in your experience? Not at all,
Mhm.
has been my experience.
Oh.
And just my own personal relationships, some of the stuff that I've been privy to see in other people's relationships. But most people keep it under wraps. But
It's interesting because, like if I am basically telling my woman how to think and how to feel and what to do, I pretty much lose respect for her. That's how I really
right,
feel. I lose respect for her because she's more of a pet or a toy than an actual partner. I don't want her to be
but maybe
overly, crazy
maybe
towards
there's going to be some satisfaction on the other side of that for you. Maybe there'll be some relief for her. Maybe she will be able to drop more into her soft feminine that manifests in ways that you'll find gratifying.
This is an argument, yes, towards it. I've had this conversation. The woman can really drop into themselves when they feel safe and comfortable. But I don't
And
think
that's when, yeah.
being a tyrant and over the top, I don't think
No, but
that
you need
is
to
safe.
be like firm. I think like when given space to make decisions, ultimately is destructive to the emotional state of a woman. on the short term or long term, like probably on the short term, like let them have fun with it, right? Their opinion, sure, right? Maybe like take that in consideration, hear all that, but realize what the container's net needs,
Mm.
because like I've been doing house shopping, right? Like, where am I gonna like have my woman live? Where am I gonna have my woman raise my daughter? Like, where do I want to go and live with them potentially or stay with them? Right. And like, so the whole spectrum, like where she's coming from, is like all over the map. It's emotionally controlled. If like somebody doesn't call her back when she wants them to, she just like throws the whole house and concept out as an option because she's making emotionally based decisions.
Yeah.
And so it's like at the end of the day, like I just like let her do her thing. I'm not going to confront her. I'm not going to argue with her. But I need to be like, okay, I'm going to communicate with these people in my own ways and figure out what it is that
Sure.
I want, and then present her with limited options. You're like, look, this is what I want you to do, and then you'll see her drop into a state of calmness, and she'll know what her path is, and so that frees her of anxiety.
Right, right, right. I understand that. I think your woman's a very extreme idea here. Because I know other women, I have friends who are very relaxed, very grounded, very, I don't know, they're moral. They can take responsibility for their actions. They can see the way of their errors.
No, those are dudes.
Well, yeah, maybe at some level they've been brought up by their dad. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand, but I think your what you're
Okay,
talking about is the real extreme on the spectrum here. There's a spectrum. I think you're like fucking way out there. I don't know. Like
yeah,
I understand. I've been in relationships. I've been in different relationships. I've been in some where they're wild and free, and I have to create boundaries, and that sort of tells the woman that she is loved if I'm creating boundaries and limits. To me, I'm like, well, I'm managing you and your recklessness, which to me makes me think, shit, I'm with the child here. And that makes me lose respect and, all of the things. Because I'm like, well, what are you actually bringing to this relationship? Like, what are you, if I have to manage
exactly.
myself and I have to manage you, what are you bringing here? You're bringing nothing.
Exactly. And that's the title of our topic today. Is
What are
what
you
is the
bringing?
true nature of the relationship?
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that around. You're right. It's frustrating. You're
Mm.
looking at it like this isn't the partner I signed up for. This isn't the type of relationship I want. Like, why am I managing this child?
I don't need you.
Right?
I don't need you for anything,
Uh-huh. And I
basically.
wonder about these outliers you speak of because when I've heard and talked to and I've heard conversations about this, the nature of women, it seems the conclusion is that they want to live in a fantasy. The conclusion is that they want to hold on to their childness, their innocence, the imaginary world. They want to have fun.
Mm.
Girls just want to have fun. Yeah, like if you can create that fun, imaginative environment for them, you'll keep them engaged. And
Sure.
that's what men speak about, like in these, like trying to figure out the nature of women. Uh,
That's just a lot of work. I have to create my reality and also, manicure your
yes,
reality for you so you can just be happy and then not do my head in and carry on and we can be happily together. That seems like a lot of
right. And
work.
so that seems very complicated,
That's
right?
being
It
with a
sounds like more
child.
than you want to manage. So
That's
what do
like
you
being with a
do?
child.
Right. So what is the nature of the relationship? And I would argue that at the heart and the core of it, it's a biological function. Like that's what it is. We need to keep the party going. At the end of the day, somebody's got to pay the electric bill.
Right.
Somebody's got to keep the infrastructure on. We got to like so everybody can have their birthday parties like inside and whatever dramas they want to still up. And
Mhm.
so it's us as men need to realize that we're creating the ultimate container. It's one in which the whole stage production can take place on. And so,
Right.
like, we can remove ourselves out of that, pull ourselves out of that drama, and have a higher view of the whole game that's taking place here. And for me, that is like like raising offspring to reproductive age, if you want to think of it in the driest, grayest terms,
Hmm.
right? And then we can have all the poetry and romanticism that we can drape all over it as we go. But at the end of the day, like if we can't provide this woman that has a womb with like hormonal makeup and like thousands of years of conditioning to raise children, like if we're not providing a contained environment for that to take place, we're going to experience all kinds of problems, like the hormones, the not meeting the standards within our time cycles and all this stuff. It's going to, and then we're going to make excuses for it, and it's going to result in toxic behavior and the downfall of mankind, and like humanity just dying out. That's what we're on. That's what's happening right now. And we're making excuses for it. We're like, oh, it's because she didn't feel good, or like, oh, or like she didn't want to, or like whatever, like controlling this or that. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We need to like, okay, so this is the woman, I'm the man. Like, what are we doing here? Because we're not compatible. I think at the end of the day, this is just bullshit. We're not compatible. We have different goals. We have different sort of like what fun is. It's not the same. And if we try to merge it the same, you got these, what do they call them, cuckolds or like simps. It's like, yeah, that's the end product. If we try to like create harmony and like listen to feelings, like I'm sorry, but like there's a space and there's a time for that, for the healing and the moments for those things. But at the end of it all, like if we can't cut our balls off in a sense. I don't know what to say. They want to castrate us, literally castrate us. Like
Well, I
women
mean,
are,
I think that's the question is what do they want? I mean, I know what I want as a man. I know what most men want. Most men actually want to be in a relationship. Most men actually want to be in love. Most men want to go home to a wife that wants to see them and welcome them in, and be thankful. All we want is peace, a bit of gratitude, and some sex.
yeah, you got it in that order. I don't think that order has always been that way. I think that order shifts throughout our lives, depending on what age we are.
Sure, sure.
Like,
But
but
if
at
I'm
this stage where
working,
we're at, it definitely goes
if
peace
I,
first.
if I'm working hard all day, I would like a little bit of gratitude for the work I do, you know,
Hmm.
just whatever. Peaceful home,
Yeah, I think
some
that's it. I
happy
can't
vibes,
argue with that at all.
some happy vibes. I'm
Peace,
not
gratitude,
asking
and
for,
sex.
not asking for a hell of a lot here.
Yeah, I don't care about the food. Great, whatever.
Well, that'd be nice,
Or
but
keeping the house clean. Sure, she wants to do that anyway. Fine, whatever.
well, that'd be great. It's like I'm doing my bit. Can you at least do your bit? But if I'm coming home and I'm dealing with an angry woman and I don't even know what she's angry about, which has happened to me so many times. I come home and there's all these projections of what I've been doing, what I haven't been doing, and they're all lies. And I'm just like, what
Right.
the hell am I dealing with here? I've been busting my whole all day working, and I'm coming home to this woman thinking that I'm cheating on her and getting up to all sorts of mischief. And this is the
What
motherfucking
is
thing.
that?
I don't know. It's weird. And I'm like, am I with a crazy person right now? Like, what the fuck? I actually want to be with you, but you're just creating all this drama. I think in the end of the day, the partner I was with, intimacy scared her, so she started creating drama in order to push us away from each other. So then she could ultimately run away. Instead of just saying, "Hey, I'm feeling scared. I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. I'm going to go because it scares me," which she could have done easily. She'd rather create this whole scene and drama and blame me for everything, which I did not do. I didn't even know what I did half the time. And then she would run away, and she could run away and be innocent. Danny's been cheating on me. He's been texting other women. What? That's not even my character. Craziness. So what the hell is that?
I can relate 100% to every word that came out of your mouth.
What the
There's
hell? Why
zero,
why am
zero
I
I would
putting
alter from
why am
what
I
you
putting
said in my own personal
I mean
relationship experiences.
why put up with that? It's crazy. That is actually craziness. It's
Why indeed?
craziness. I
Why
mean,
indeed? And so that's the nature of this conversation, I think.
that's why I did it.
Uh,
Like, goodbye.
I,
And
it's
then
like
she got
it's
upset.
for having children. But like in that toxic environment, I mean, we're fucked. We're fucked in so many ways. But like for me, it's like keeping the lights on at least. Like what we got to keep the freaking game going. It's like for me and being in Peru, like this is like another sort of analogy. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Like to Shipibo, they're like want their cell phones. They're destroying themselves with their diet, losing their traditional ways. And I'm like, yeah, it's tragic. It sucks. It doesn't sound like a good course at all. But what am I gonna? I'm here. I got to do something.
Well, what
So,
can you
like at
do?
the end of the day, I boil it all down. It's like the best thing I can do for them is keep them alive. So that's what I focus on, is keeping them
Right.
alive. Like literally, I have like a community health-based program that outreaches dozens of community, reaches thousands of people a year, and literally keeps indigenous people alive. Because at the end of the day, we're so freaking confused, like as to what the goals are and what the directions. Like I can't deal with it. I
I
just
mean,
can't.
look. I mean, this may come across really rude, but do they want to be alive? Like, what's that? What's that even going to do? Keeping them alive? You're prolonging their lifespan, basically, is what you're saying.
Why should
And
we
then
even
what?
keep humanity alive? Why should we even keep
Well,
having kids?
well, exactly. The way we're going, we're probably not. It's not the smartest thing to be doing to bringing kids up into this world, you know? But then again,
Maybe,
you could argue that, obviously.
yeah.
You could say the most revolutionary thing to do is to raise a new human with good values and morals and start there. Absolutely. If you're willing to go all that way, you know, if you're already that person, that sovereign being, then absolutely those kinds of people like yourself should be having more children and educating their children in that way. But in terms of the majority of humanity having children, I think it's irresponsible. And so many
That's who's
kids,
having children.
yeah, and they shouldn't be having kids. Having kids out of, and then the kids grow up in these broken homes, you know, raised by one partner or the other or split, or it's just, I don't,
Or maybe we can zoom out a little bit and have like a little bit higher perspective and be like, okay, maybe this is all by design.
sure.
And so how is that a measurable quality? And I would say it's a measurable quality if we look at where is population growing and where is it declining. And so an interesting thing that I've stumbled across lately is that, as we know, Australian populations are in decline, US populations are in decline for decades. We're not there. And so we could argue that maybe that's why the immigration population is coming in, which just creates more chaos and all that sort of thing, more destruction, actually. So, where do we see population growth? We see it in um, Jewish populations. Jewish populations embrace being fruitful within the family. They have 6+ children. It's per family. It's one of the and they use all kinds of social programs and education and family preservation practices. And so for me, when we like have a very high perspective, it's a takeover. The whole world is on fire. It's just like there's attack on the family, there's attack on the masculine, there's attack on the feminine, all purposely driven. All of our textbooks are written for us. They have been for decades. All of our political points and things are pure theater. All of the political leaders are all working together behind the scenes, and they're being controlled and given their agendas. They're not even working. They're just like actors, literally just actors. Some of them are literally just like from theater, and they moved like Macron and like the Canadian president and the French president and the U.S. president. They're literally actors. It's all in our face. It's and then we give it credit and people argue about it and like as if it's something of matter. And for me, like a true sovereign being is somebody that lets all that go. It's like it's not affected by that. So like at the end of the day, I think the conversation here is like, what is the purpose of relationships? And if we look at the successful populations, they would say it's about creating family. And so is that like one kid? Is that two kids? Is it three kids? Is it, and your argument would be like, oh, but we're raising it. How do you keep the roof over your head and pay the bills, right? And I say you got to let all that go. You got to go somewhere where you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. You don't have somebody controlling that aspect of your life anymore. And you live next to a river. I don't know. Then you got water at least, right? You can maybe generate some electricity on water flow. You got power now. You got power and water. If it's next to water, it's probably got a good place to grow. And then, okay, focus on those systems. Then you build like a house that's actually durable and multi generations. All right, there you go. You got that dialed in. And then you have a bunch of kids, get them working, helping you out, like kind of instill those values and just keep it going. Well, that's what we used to do. And then we moved to the city, and now it's just a big old uh, fucking mess.
Totally. It's a huge mess. We've lost ourselves. We've lost
Until
ourselves.
the point where we're just like, of course, yeah, I want to have like a friend, a female woman friend. I've like fantasized about my like whole like adolescence, right? What would I do in these situations? How we would train and how we would build a life together and the businesses and what we would do if there was problems and how we would work it out. Fucking throw all that shit in the fucking trash can. Like I tried that. That's like so idealistic. I want that. Of course I want that. I want to treat women good. I want to treat them with respect and all that sort of thing. And you can on a one-to-one basis. But as soon as you like open that door and anybody else comes through it, even their own family members, it's all fucked up. It's all fucking bullshit. So it's like it's almost like we need to take responsibility. It's like husbandry, right? What is the root word of husband? You're raising animals. You're a husbandry of like cows or horses or sheep or goats. It's all husbandry. It's because you're creating the ideal environments in which they thrive, right? So that's what you're doing with a woman as well. That's what a husband does. It's and this is known in cultures. It's deeply embedded in cultures. Like if a man's interested in a woman, he goes and he talks to their brothers and their husband, their father. They all sit down, they have tea, they get a drink together, and they say like, "All right, how's this going to work?" It's like yeah, because we've been taking care of this woman her whole life since she was a baby until now, and now you're another man coming in, and so you're going to take care of her now. We're going to figure out how that's going to work. And that's how cultures have done it. Traditional Japanese cultures have done that forever.
Sure.
Middle Eastern cultures have done that
Sure.
forever.
They still do it. Yeah. African.
Arranged marriages throughout India. Like, and this is the stuff that's just beaten out of us in the Western mind. Australia, the US, Europe, it's all beaten out of us. Nobody thinks this way anymore. And as a result, we're just at our wits' end as far as relationships go. We see people are living in the streets. There's drug addictions everywhere. People are dying droves. Like, this is not a good situation. Uh, Violence, drug abuse, broken homes, no non-starter families all over. And if they do, it's just bringing, another dependent into the world
Right.
with their own issues that you're just going to spend just massive resources trying to figure out how to repair. So it's like this is just like a just constant bleed of energy and resources on humanity. It's just a massive attack. And so at the end of the day, it's just like you boil it all down. And just like with the Shipibo, it's like keep them alive. And then your argument is like, do they even want to stay alive? And I would argue in these conditions, absolutely not. So we got to let go of all these conditions. Like it's only like the 1% of the 1%. We're like even making it here. So and all by design too. This is a destruction of humanity, and we're all just trying to like oh, why is it all falling apart?
Totally. Totally.
And people are like, oh, maybe the next election, or like, you fuckers, you voted for this person. Like, oh my God, this is the arena of argument. It's just like,
Do you think women want to be in a relationship? Because that's probably the question.
I th I think the better question is like, are women happier in relationships? I would say yes. Are men happier in relationships? Maybe, probably not. But that's not the point. Men are supposed to be the ones that weather the storm, create the perfect ideal conditions in which the softness and the nurturing aspects of the family can be created and thrive within. And so they have to be strong, they have to be broken over and over and over and over and over and over again. So they can't be broken anymore. And they're actually strong and create those boundaries and know morality and what's good and bad because they've been put through the ringer over it. And so, yeah, comfort is where, growth stops.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's my rant.
it's good. All right, no conclusion. Excellent. There is
No,
no
I don't have any
conclusion.
good conclusions. Well, I do, but it's really expensive. But that's okay.
All right, rant
I,
over.
I feel the funds are coming.
The funds.
Yeah,
It's going
the
to solve.
resources will be there.
It's going to solve
Because that's
everything.
the shit thing about this all is we're such in a trap right now as humanity that it actually, if we're going to bring the family in along, it's going to cost some money. I think this is like something most radical about me and my concepts of freedom is my concept of freedom is like right now you wouldn't I'd disappear. You'd never see me again. Like I would become unrecognizable even to myself.
Right.
I think I would just merge into the background. Like if we were in a car, I would just like hop out the door and just start walking wherever it just happened to be. And that's freedom for me. So
Yeah.
like everything else is accepting responsibility for something. And so I think that's what the whole game is. Let the women live their fantasy, build the dream life for them. Okay, why not? They're soft. You have a boy and a girl and you're raising them both. You see the differences. We're not, why are we trying, like the whole argument out there is like, oh, they're the same. Oh, you gotta raise them the same and all that. They're like, no, they're not.
No, that's bullshit. That is bullshit.
So if we just like recognize that and realize that there are biological differences in drives and hormones and cycles, and then work within those, our species will probably continue.
Well, most likely. I mean, I think it's just pretty basic. You have to want to be with each other. And I'm just
No,
talking simple,
I think you
man,
need to be
man and
willing to put up with each other's shit.
wow, that's another way of saying the same thing. Just have to want to be with your person, or at least just want to be with the opposite sex or the same sex or whatever. Be in a relationship. You have to want to be in a relationship. Well, you don't think? I think that's pretty basic.
I think that there needs to be purposes to relationship that are admirable and worthwhile pursuing.
For sure. For sure. But I think the first thing is wanting to be in a relationship. And then from there, finding a person that you actually want to be with and be able to see them for who they are and they see you for who you are. And you both take responsibility and you work within integrity. And if you work towards a common goal, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but I think you lose the plot in there. it sounds good. It's a good roadmap,
Sure.
but I think we've both tested that out.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I can't control my partner. That's the issue. I can't control them. They either need to
No, you
want,
can't. And
they
that's
either need
nature.
to
That's
want it
like,
or not.
I think that's Kali Ma. Like, I think that's like the force of representation of the chaotic nature of the divine feminine. Like, you can't control that. I think the best option we have is like maybe before puberty. Maybe there's
For sure.
like, most reasonable, logical, sane. Like my parents were public educators their whole life. They said fourth grade's where it's at. They actually enjoyed fourth graders. After that, they're just like they're worthless. It's like just bullshit. So you have to control the
Really?
kids. After that, before that, they're actually interesting. They want to learn. They're like excited about life. After that, it's like the hormones kick in, the cycles, all that. It's
Right. Wow. I never thought of it like that.
and so I think it takes a sober mind in order to perceive this and realize what it is. Because I think once puberty hits, even for me and you, and until we get into like our 50s, we're just freaking insane. I think we're just like controlled too much by hormonal cycles within our own bodies, more so women perhaps than men. And so I think it takes like elderly people to kind of like sit down and like figure out, men and women, elderly, and just be like, look, how are we going to do this for the next generations? How are we going to like mitigate these problems and create like a successful game plan? And so I think that's why we have cultural norms like this. And it's just like the youth that battles against it. Like, no, I want to fall in love with who I want to fall in love with. Like, yeah, of course, I felt that too, 100%, right? But now that I'm adult and I'm like, fuck, man, maybe arranged marriages is where it's at. Like maybe like the elder generations, like they look at like, okay, my friends are having those kids, those people over there are having those kids. I'd like my kid to be hooked up with that kid and my daughter hooked up with that kid ultimately. Maybe I should go have a conversation with these people and see if we can figure this out. How much heartache would that save? How many wasted, like the most productive years of the youth would not be wasted? Because like I don't know what to tell like my teenage self. I was an absolute fucking mess. Just like I was on fire with hormones, on fire. And so like, but that's also the best time for women to have children. They recover better, there's better outcomes, genetics are freaking better, the pregnancies are successful, all that stuff happens like at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, maybe 24. Like after that, maybe like kind of like maybe up to 27, 28 at max. And that's it. Then like let those women recover at that point.
Yeah.
Or keep going. I don't know, whatever. But like if you look at it from like a nursing perspective or a clinical perspective, that's when you want your women to have babies. 100%. You want women having babies when they're like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And so how do we design a culture where that's acceptable? That's happening, with a stable environment, of course. Like there's like a roof over the head of the baby. It's not dependent on the state,
Right.
single parent home,
Right.
put in abusive and dangerous situations. Yeah, because that's what's happening,
Totally.
which creates a lot more problems.
Mm.
So yeah, arranged marriages
Yeah,
and then
maybe they can.
dowries, like all that shit.
Right.
Like so they can buy a house and so get something to go in for themselves. So they're just like locked out of, oh, I got school loans for the next 20 years, try to get a job, focus on career. By the time I'm 30, 35, women can now start thinking about kids. It's like it's a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh, well, this is where we're at right now.
Well, let's talk about solutions next time. You want to
Sure.
hit the button there,
All right.
wrap it up?
Catch you later.